Already I've been corrected by marketing. They're development pens, development pens. I've heard it 3 times said to me. Yeah. Yeah. I'll leave it there. Yes, thank you. Okay, if anybody does not have a pen, Grace has volunteered to go through cultural commitment. Give it up for Grace and stepping up to help us out, right? No one. Well, that's part of the experience training. He's trying to get to know someone that he doesn't know. Yes, and reaching out in CG. Thank you very much, Grace. All right, so here's what we're going to do straight off the bat. Straight off the bat today, we're going to play Whodunit. To play Whodunit, we need to split into groups, and the only thing you're going to need is that strip of paper and a pen. So your other materials you can set down there at your seat, because I'm going to need you to get up and kind of move away, okay, if you don't mind. So, Catherine minds moving, be advised. So, outside of that, why don't we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, 6 is a good number. Could we split into groups of 6, and we can see if we can self-populate ourselves into groups of numbers of 6? Otherwise, I can help you, okay? So kind of get up, and the first group of 6, get some space over here together. The next group of 6, come together, all right? Till we have just about 6 groups of 6 is what it's going to come out to be. So count yourselves. Don't be shy. This isn't, leave your cheese stick. We're going to trust others. Now get to know one another. Remember in our experience training, if there's anyone you're not familiar with or you haven't seen in the department, say hi. Exchange names, right? Good. Is the last group formed? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. What you're going to do is you're going to give some thoughtful, intentional design to writing on your little strip and not letting anyone else see something cool you have done, or just something you've done, like you once climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. You once drank a gallon of milk in 5 minutes. You once leaped over a car, right? And we're in a kung fu movie, right? Something like that you've done, right? Be creative, but it has to be true, okay? It has to be true. Write that down on the slip. Don't let anyone see it, and I'll come to each group. So as each group has something, kind of raise your hand, and I'll come around. You're going to put your strips in this bucket, and I'll tell you what we do after that. Don't let other people see what you do. Don't let anyone see what you write on that slip. You can fold it in half. Just your group. Okay? Now, here's the game. You're just going to write on that slip something you've done, fold it in half. Don't let anyone see it. Christine. 1 strip per person. It must be true. Okay? Do we have a group where everybody's got something written down in your group? Stay in your groups. I see Morgan starting to want to wander. Thank you. Stay in your groups. Stay in your groups. It's a discipline. Everybody have one? Any group? Val's pretty much done. Everybody else done in your group? Come on. Val's waiting for you guys. Something you've done. It has to be true. You guys good? Good. Let's start with this group. No. You put it in half? Just put that in the bucket, please. Okay. Put it in the bucket. Put it in the bucket. Samantha. Put it in the bucket. All right. I'm shaking them around. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to have them hermetically sealed in the mayonnaise jar in Funk and Wagnall's warehouse in Burbank, California. Okay, that group's next because they're raising the hand. Okay, Camille. Don't let anyone see, and please, as soon as you have it written down. Okay? If we need a time limit, we can impose one. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, I'm taking it around. I need a volunteer just from this group. A volunteer. The last one to put in the bucket is the first one to say, I'll do. And I need you to pull a strip from the bucket, please. Don't look at it yet.
It's mine.
Give that to me. Okay. All right. Now, I need you to open the strip and read it to everyone so we can see what it is. And then tell us, who do you think did it and why?
Okay, run an ATV at Blue Diamond Race Park.
Can you say that again?
Run an ATV at Blue Diamond Race Park. And I think it's Katie.
Katie Jones.
No.
Why? Why did you think it was Katie Jones?
Because she's kind of daring and stuff like that. You're so fun.
Okay, cool. Katie? There's no double dipping. That is the last time we double dip. Okay, let's do this.
I've been to Ukraine.
Who do you think it is and why?
I'm just going to say Gracie because I don't know her that well.
No, it's not. Okay, guys, who actually went to Ukraine? Catherine Martin went to Ukraine. How about that? Cool. All right, who ran the ATV? Steven. All right. So you get to know stuff about you. Good. All right, let's go to the next group. Oh, you guys raised your hands. Okay, everybody put here in the bucket. What you got? Anybody learn something about something? Someone you didn't know or someone? That means you've been practicing some of the experience factors and some of the cultural commitments. If you want it to be nerdy like I just tried to be. Okay, I need a volunteer. Volunteer from this group. Emma.
This is mine. I've consumed a squirrel.
Okay, Thomas, could you call DNR? We have a squirrel eater in this one. All right. Who do you think it is and why, Emma?
Tom, because I don't know him that well.
Well, we don't know you that well, Tom, and maybe there's someone to eat a squirrel at you. Tom, were you the squirrel eater? Yikes. Okay, before we do another one. Tom, could you pick one? What is it?
I visit Paris. There's no other words than that. I visit Paris.
Who would you think that is and why?
Tim?
No, it's not Tim. Wow. Who ate a squirrel? I ate a squirrel. Oh, Morgan, you were right. I visit Paris, whatever that means. Hey, Mark Hoffman. Oh, guys, share. Know some stuff about you. Okay. What's the next group? Guys? Huh? Oh, they kind of asserted. They're kind of in front. No, I'm sorry. But they, Awesome. All right, I need a volunteer. Who wants to volunteer in this group? All right, Glendon. Nice mix.
Took a lap on Indianapolis Speedway and Pocono Speedway.
Who is it and why?
Let's say Kim.
That was a vigorous no. Why?
Well, I'm wrong now, so
Well, why did you think it was Kim?
it's my guess. Adventurous.
Good. Glendon is adventurous. That's what we learned today. Kim, pick one. I stand corrected. They said Kim was, not Glendon. Stop saying wrong things, Rob. Yes?
Skydive.
One word.
Yes.
Who do you think that is that wrote the one word and why?
This guy.
Tad?
Yeah. Because I could see him going, ah!
Do you scream like that, Tad? Could you do that for us? Could you? Okay, please. Ah, thank you, Tad. What a good sport, huh? Good. That's a first right guess. Okay, thank you. All right, who's ready now? Oh, that's right. We promised Morgan. Oh, who did drive? I'm sorry, I forgot. Bow? Really? Wow. I learned something there. Play back that security camera on the driveway. Who's coming in here? Who are those employees that are speeding? Kevin? Okay, volunteer from this group. Mark. What is it? Who is it? And why, Mark?
Killed a shark with bare hands.
Okay, remember, guys, it has to be true. Assuming that's true, who is it and why?
I'm gonna go with Tobin.
Why?
Cause he's big and strong.
Tobin, did you kill a shark with your bare hands? A full-grown shark or a baby shark? We're just going to leave that one there along with the squirrel. I eat squirrels. I kill sharks with hands. Okay, Tobin, would you pick one, please? What does it say? Who do you think said it and why?
I was once a kind person. And I don't know, but now I'm sad. John.
John? It wasn't me. Why did you think it was John?
He's sarcastic and sounds like something he would say.
Oh, okay, well, matches up a little bit. Okay. Who was it that used to be kind? Morgan McCrae, everyone. Morgan McCrae. Shark killer and a guy who used to be kind. Excellent. Okay, this group. Then we have one more group after that. Theme music. Volunteer. Jamie Lynn. What does it say? Who said it and why, do you think?
Scuba to 110 feet.
Whoa. Who would say that and why?
I don't know. Renee?
Renee? Why would you say Renee?
Because she seems adventurous.
There you go. You give off the impression of adventurous. Who really did that? Carol Lee. 110 feet. Wow. Doesn't it like press in or something on all your bones and stuff? Were you allowed to go 110 feet? Okay. For a second, I thought Carol Lee might be a rule breaker. Okay. Then, Renee, you were the guest person. Would you choose one? What does it say? Who said it and why? Hate to reach over you, but I got to.
Been to the Philippines twice.
Who said it and why?
I think it's Autumn.
Why?
Because she goes on missions trips.
Autumn, was it you? It was our second right one in the thing. Yay. That's great stuff, guys. Okay, here we go. Let's go on to the last group. Kevin's been so patient. Is this all one group, you guys? No? Yes? Okay. Yep. Personal space rule. Very good. Lane, you did yours, right? Oh, that wasn't one of our strips. Where'd you get that, somebody? It has pictures on it, too. What the? Okay, guys. Woo! All right, volunteer. Volunteer for this last group. I'm having a blast. Oh, Lane. Lane volunteered. Andrea in charge. She got you. All right. What does it say? Who said it and why?
Played on Phillies field baseball.
Who said that and why?
I don't know. Andrea.
Why?
Because I recognize the handwriting.
Oh, busted. Was it you, Andrea? There you go. Not a Philly fanatic, but a player. All right? All right. Andrea, you got called out, so. Oh, there you go. What's it say? Who said it? Why?
Mount Kilimanjaro. They went skydiving. Oh, that could have been like all of us. But I'm going to say it was Christine.
Why?
Because she enjoys the thrill of life.
Christine, did you do it? No, I did not. Oh, who did it? Who did the sky? Thomas Walker. Jumping off the Genie High lift out there in the backhoe. Isn't it? Having a good time, buddy. Way to go. Enough games. All right, that was fun. And yes, I will clean up the papers when it's all over. I'm just being... Okay, everybody return to your seats and your materials and where you were. Let's now deal with the serious business of what we gathered here today to do. Hey, if you are here, could I have you come on up and stand here? If you're not, we'll figure that out too, I guess. All right. Hey, is Omar Font? No, he's not on today, is he? Okay. Well, Omar does exist. We love Omar. He's there. Michael Miller, I didn't see her this morning at front desk, huh? Okay. Rekka Head. Rekka didn't make it down? Sounds sick. Craig Miller. Clara Teeter. Teeter. If you'll now join me in singing posthumously Happy Birthday on 3, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. I wish you were here. Happy birthday to you. Here's $10 for you. Happy birthday, people who didn't come to CG. Happy birthday to you. Okay, thank you very much. Give it up for the birthday people. Recognize them if you see them. They forfeit their $10. HR's keeping it. No, we're giving it to them. Hey, mission moments. I can't do it with one hand. I'm sorry. That's why. It's not gonna. That's because I'm like the music teacher or something. All right, here it is. Mission moments. We had some real good ones that came here, and there's 2 to share today. And they're kind of tied in one to the other. So let me give you the first one. It's a little bit lengthy, so be patient with me, but it's important to give her background and why she wrote this. Tamara Hamadou. And my name is Tamara Hamadou, and I was a guest with Bethesda Women's Mission. I just wanted to reach out with a warm hug, thanks in every way, and God bless each and every one of you. Speaking of you guys, right? I've never experienced such love and peace in one atmosphere at one time. From one, it seemed like everyone I came in contact with, my heart is just overjoyed. I've experienced many hurts and heartaches over time, and much to my dismay, I've been able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Shelley Brooks, who's the director of the Women's Mission, has been one of the first inspirations that God has sent my way after many years of abuse and neglect, showing love despite the resistance I put up. She and her staff have never given up on me. The staff here at Sandy Cove, right? The staff here was amazing. I suffer from chronic pain that I have been taking rather hard. I was limping and pretty much slumped over, trying to maneuver around. Without me even asking, a member of the staff reached out to me, asked whether I would like a walker or wheelchair. Hesitantly, I did not want to take her up on the offer because I didn't want to feel defeated, but I knew I needed to humble myself, not only in the eyes from the helper, but humble myself in the eyes of the good Lord, who was sending me the help that I needed. I'd like to thank Emma from the kitchen, who waited on our tables. She did an exceptional job. Shelley from the gift shop, who offered me the help with the pain I was having and made my stay here much more comfortable. I was able to get around easier. And Katie at the front desk, she was friendly, patient, and gave service with a smile. We thank you so much to the entire staff, the auxiliary staff here at Sandy Cove. May God continue to bless you and prosper Sandy Cove Ministries. Okay, so yeah, applaud for those not only that mentioned, but they're mentioning everyone here. We had another one too, briefer, but this is identifying and calling out an experience here in the cultural commitment from Sean Ponte. I want to tell a story about a guest who was here last weekend and experienced what we strive to deliver. He came a few days before his group came. We saw each other time to time and talked about faith and food and his group and how they could be better. It was cool to get a chance to hear a guest say, and this is a quote, "This place is different, and the last few days before his group has arrived was much needed time alone with God." He was thankful for a place where he could take a sabbatical and look forward to coming again. Before he left, he gave me a pamphlet on what the Coptic faith was and why he dressed like he did. And the quote is, officers wear uniforms, they're on duty so people know who is safe. Priests are always on duty. That's why they do that, right? It was a good reminder for Sean, and obviously a good share that he had. So, let's just recognize a mission moment, shall we? Okay, let's move over to here. What do we have? Well, let me tell you about a few announcements and stuff before we get to our presentation today. Let's see, A2 and what was D? Right, nobody caught that one. Good. First, you did, didn't you? You didn't? My big brother Buzz, who picks on me? 3 reasons why you can't come in my room. A, because you're 2, and D, because you're right. Okay. All right, here we go. Summer staff applications are in. If you know folks who want to apply for summer staff, please get them on it. I've had people approach me at church and otherwise on the weekends and saying, hey, they're thinking about it, and what's the best way to approach it? The best way is to apply right away online, okay? They have, and we've gotten them into the system. So if you know someone, it's a good idea. The aggregate apps are 111 applications in, 65 return, and 46 new. I have almost all the new ones lined up for interview or otherwise, so we're putting them back into the system, whoever it looks like they'd be a good fit. So keep that in mind. We have the opportunity with Stephanie P. Not like Mel B of Spice Girls, but Stephanie P of UD Star Program, Certified Personal Trainer. Does anyone remember when Sarita was here? Sarita last year? And she helped out so many people. You get together in the gym, and she analyzes not only your gait and your stance and what you're doing and your movement, but then makes recommendations for your workouts, exercise, or what you might want to emphasize, right? She was awesome. Stephanie kind of is in that same lane. She's also a certified personal trainer, qualified like Sarita, and she's going to come in and do the same thing. Now, the signups are online. There's a doodle poll that was issued. I realize on the actual doodle poll, it had a different date than the 13th or 14th, whatever it should have said there. The 13th it should have said. That's been corrected on the poll, but either way, don't let that hold you back. Use that poll. It's for the 13th, that Wednesday. Okay, does that make sense? Good. If you have any questions, just ask us. Experience training, levels 1 and 3 are completely done for the term. They went very, very well. Level 2 happens the 17th and 20th. That's a very large group. Stephen will be leading that group through, okay? So I'm going to please ask your attention to making sure if you're level 2, you have people in your department that are level 2. Please make sure they attend and get that done. If there's any conflict with the dates, please let HR know so we can try to navigate that with you. Outside of that, ambassador training is February 18th. That's very exciting. The presenter has gotten together all the materials needed, and it looks awesome. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for those of you attending. And if you have any makeup on the ambassador level, using the YouTube link, there's just a few of you that still need to do that before you can advance on to the next ambassador level. Please get that done. Reminders were sent out today. Now, I think we're ready. The one thing I want to say now about today's presentation and the University of Delaware Star program is this. Here's some fun facts, but they're real. Those that are enrolled in the personal health coaching, right, the one-on-one coaching that happens, they're experiencing very good to excellent success in achieving what are their goals and their healthy lifestyles. You can do that in person or by phone. Mine this term is by phone. Okay, couldn't be more convenient, right? My cell or my other office phone, where I set aside that time for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we can have that conversation and reset goals and see where we are. You have the Shannon workouts that are happening every Tuesday and Thursday from 11:30 to 12:30. If you're looking for an anchored workout, right, meaning one that's always going to happen for you, or a supplemental workout, right down in Water's Edge, okay? That's becoming very, very successful. It's getting very, very full. That's a wonderful thing. We love to be in that position where we might need new space. Last, the employee use of the gym, right? Have you seen our facilities, or what is the key's name when I go to sign that out? The fitness center. Yes, I'm sorry. because I want to be accountable to calling things by their right name, right? The fitness center, right? Has anyone taken a peek at that lately? Right. Thank Kevin Bittler and staff. That thing has been completely redone, right? Not only the flooring, the equipment, there's full dumbbell set, there's full kettlebell set, there's space to work out any type of workout you want. So as part of this program, as you need to tie in, please take advantage of that. If you have a hard time, like when can you use it or not, you have questions, please ask HR. We'll navigate through that. Sound good? Okay, guys, without further ado, I have Marianne and Diane. They are also two American girls who have done the best they can to be prepared for today and present this for you. Guys? Give a round of applause for Marianne.
Thank you. All right, we're back today. We're going to talk about two more principles of the intuitive eating. First, we're going to talk about discovering the satisfaction factor, and we're going to do a little activity with you. And the second principle we'll talk about is how to cope with your feelings without using food. And we have a little activity with that too. So today we're going to try to tie in some of those other principles that we've already talked about with that satisfaction of eating too. So when you walk away today, I hope that you have the ability to, or the strategy to regain any kind of satisfaction you might have with eating and pleasure in eating also, and finding different ways that can provide comfort or nurture or distract you without using food in that context too. So all right, let's go with the first one. The first principle, number 6, is discover the satisfaction of food. And if we look at all the other principles that we're going to be talking about as the spokes of a wheel, satisfaction really is in the middle of that wheel too. So it's the hub of intuitive eating. So if you're really able to practice the other principles that we talked about, really when you go to eat, you have mild hunger, but you're not hangry. Right? So you can eat slowly and enjoy the food and really kind of reject any kind of diet mentality and not feel guilt about what you're eating, and making peace with your food, making foods emotionally equal, then satisfaction will be coming a little bit easier for you. You'll be able to find that satisfaction too. So when you truly give yourself that unconditional permission to eat what you want without kind of any strings attached to that too, it can be a really powerful force, especially if it's in an environment that's peaceful and satisfying to you too. So that's part of this finding the satisfaction, not only what foods you want to eat, but also the atmosphere of what you want to eat. If you're really have a tension-filled meal, that might actually distract from your satisfaction too. So feeling that satisfaction and comfort are the contentment of your eating. So we have a little activity that we're going to do. As you noticed when you came in, you chose a food, so right now you can open that food if it needs to be opened, and there's a little handout right here. It looks like the grid, and it should list your food on there. So I want you to take your food out of the container, and if you want to now know, if you know what we're doing, if you want to switch up your food and grab a different food item, that's something that you could do too. So what I want you to do with that food is just take one bite of the food. Hold it in your mouth. Don't chew it, just hold it in your mouth. Take one bite and hold it in your mouth. All right, and when you're holding it in your mouth, I want you to pay attention to how it feels. Is there a texture? Is there a flavor that appeals to you? And as you do this, you can begin to slowly chew the food and write down any comments that you have about the food. So if you were having the organic animal cracker, what does it taste like for you that you're chewing it slowly, holding it in your mouth, really understanding what it means? Is there a smell or an aroma to that food that you're eating that's appealing or not appealing? And then take note of the texture and add that to your little chart. All right, good. Does anybody notice any kind of flavor or texture they want to share that was different for them? Go ahead. Does it taste like a squirrel? Are you the squirrel eater? Yeah, oh, okay. But actually, the cheesesteak, I'd say, tastes like rubber. So that was new for you. Right, right. So isn't that the one you gave your little boy because he likes to say please and cheese? Just kidding. That's good. So yeah, so this is something new, right? When you really start thinking about it. Anybody else have a different one? Go ahead.
I didn't realize that almonds were like grainy. I'm just like.
All right, so she said she didn't realize there was a grainy texture to almond because she's so used to eating them really quickly without really thinking about it. So we're finding different textures of the food, any kind of different taste. So did somebody choose a food that they really, really love?
I got the Reese's cup, and those are like my favorite, but I realized that just letting it sit, I don't actually like the chocolate part that much.
Ah.
It's the peanut butter.
All right. All right. So she said that she chose the Reese's because that's her all-time favorite, and the flavor of that chocolate wasn't really what she remembered it to be. So maybe it's the peanut butter that's more enticing too. So this is just a little quick little activity or thought process that you can do while you begin to eat. And it's really hoping to help you get back to that satisfaction and really getting a pleasure out of what you eat, whether it be texture, aroma, or flavor, or what is it that that food is giving you that's pleasing to you. And when you can do that and really get in touch with the satisfaction and the pleasure of what you're eating, most times you'll be satisfied with less of that food. If you're really slowing down and paying attention to where your fullness comes and where is that point? Where do you become satisfied? There's also a study that was done not too long ago that the researchers found that the satisfaction, whether it be texture, aroma, or taste for people, decreased after 2 minutes of eating a certain food. So the first bite, I did this not too long ago with a bag of Dove chocolates, one of my favorites too. So I gave my permission. I wanted a Dove chocolate, so those little ones with the inspirational messages on them. I thought that's why I was eating it, to get inspiration, but not really. So I got some satisfaction. I ate the first one. It was dark chocolate. I love that. Not too sweet, but just sweet enough. Ate it, owned it, felt good. I'm like, let me try another one. I felt good after that, gave myself permission. When I went to get the third one and I took the bite, that satisfaction just wasn't there. But I was able to ask myself that, is it still enjoyable for me? So it's just a little activity that you can give pause. Can you really think about this question for a second? When is the last time you really thought about the pleasure of eating your food? The texture or the taste of it? Anybody? Nobody? Can't remember? So it's something to consider, right? When you go down to eat, again, slowly feeling the fullness and asking yourself if you're getting the satisfaction that you were looking for that. All right, so that's the satisfaction factor. And again, all the other principles help you tie in and discover that satisfaction with that food too. All right, any questions with satisfaction? Anybody want to add anything with satisfaction? No? All right, let's go to the next principle, principle number 7. Coping with feelings without using food. So, food will not fix any feelings that you are experiencing. All right? It's not going to take any boredom away, anxiety, or any stress, excitement, depression, whatever that feeling that you're feeling, food will not take that away. Unfortunately, in our busy lifestyle, we forget to slow down, and sometimes we're stressed, and the feelings take over with our food choices and amounts too. So food might actually give you the feeling of a short-term comfort. You might feel pretty good after a little bit. It may give you a little distraction from that emotional or stress that you might be feeling. Sometimes it can actually numb you into a food hangover, where you feel good temporarily and then you start to come out of that. You've maybe eaten a little bit more than you should, and you just kind of feel worse than you started. So now you have a double whammy. You still have the feelings to deal with, that emotion or whatever that was that you were feeling, but now you also may have the discomfort of overeating when you're really not in tune to what you were, the feelings that you were feeling too. All right, so now we have another little activity Diana and I have. And you can work in groups of 2 or 3 or 4, whatever's around you. You're kind of in a nice little group setting there too. And you're going to refer to the second handout with the chart of emotions on it. And the first thing I would like you to do with this chart is to go and circle any kind of emotion that you feel like you may experience on a daily basis. So take a second and do that. All right, so the first part is circle any emotion at all that you feel during the day not related to food. Any, or could be related to food, any emotion that you feel during the course of a typical day. Maybe Rob has it. It's okay if you circle them all, right? We have those days too.
Maybe there's an emotion on that list that we didn't list.
That's a good point. If there's an emotion on that list that's not on there that you feel, add that on there. That's fine. All right, once you have them circled, those emotions that you may feel on a daily basis, now I'd like you to go back through them and put a check mark next to any of those feelings or emotions that may be related to your food intake, and in any way at all. If you feel that they're connected to food at all, give them a check. Now, on the second page of that, after you have all the ones that are checked that are related to food, you can bring forth any of those emotions that you have on the other side. So number 1 and 2, I give you a spot for 2 emotions. You can add any emotion that are food related that you want to bring over to the second page, any at all, and you're just going to write them in the spots 1 or 2. Now, when you look at those 2 that you've brought to the next page, let's move down and think of any kind of triggers that may contribute to those emotions. Maybe it's a location where you have that food or you eat that food. Maybe it's a time of day that you eat the food. Maybe it's certain people that you're with. And maybe there's something that comes before that action of eating that causes that emotion. So you're looking for triggers to that emotion in this next 2. And you can take one for the first emotion, one for the second. They may be intertwined. So we're just looking for anything that you think may contribute to that emotion, the feeling. And that third thing on the page is asking yourself, what is it about your favorite food that is so enticing or that you believe is satisfying? What is the reward from eating that food? What do you get out of eating your favorite food? Is there emotion tied to that?
Oftentimes it's a habit that we're not aware of. We feel the emotion, we eat it, we don't even pay attention to that. I'm watching TV, I eat the bag of chips, I don't even remember eating them, right? So it's becoming aware of that habit, or that trigger, whether it's environment, emotion, or whatever it is.
It could be driving in your car. It could be certain family members, whatever it is. Just think about any kind of things that could be related to that could cause that, contribute to that. And so the last thing we'd like you to do is now with your neighbors or in your little groups, find out if there's something else that you could do to replace that. Is there something that you could do instead of that or to combat that trigger or emotion?
Is there something else you could try? Maybe think of anything you could try other than eating the food?
So if you're eating because you're angry, is there another way that you can release your anger versus turning to food? It could be maybe taking a walk, it could be maybe talking to a friend, but I think it's good in groups. You might get ideas from other people. What do you do when this happens to you? What works for you or what doesn't work for you? And kind of share that, and then we'll bring it back to everybody and we can add some things to that. Give them another minute? Another minute?
Yeah.
Anybody want to share any ideas they have of other ways, other than food, that they could cope with the emotions? This is very health coaching. What's a goal you can make around looking at this?
I love that idea. So, is it Steve? No. Sean. I know it started with an S. Sean had mentioned maybe possibly anger is an emotion that some of you deal with in a day. So instead of turning to food, he said, wouldn't it be cool if we really could get boxing gloves on? I think that sounds like a great idea. But you could. Physical activity is a great release too. So boxing is another one. Does anybody have anything else like physically active related that is a good release for them? What do you have? Perfect. So the emotion that you're feeling sometimes is maybe feeling worried, and instead of turning to food to help soothe that worry and give you comfort, the physical activity works for you. Working out gives you some kind of sense of release, and it also helps your mental ability to work through that and find out what it really is that you're feeling instead of turning to that food. That's excellent. That's a great process. Yeah. Anyone else have anything similar? It doesn't have to be physically active related that you do instead of turning to food, or you think that might work, or something that you could do? Yes.
I think it's like, for me, shifting my mindset of realizing that if I'm feeling crappy right now, and then I eat food that's going to make me feel crappy, like my mental health is affected by it. And so I think I have to like picture this cyclical like thing and be like, but I don't want to get over there, which is this. So I think it's just like.
That's an excellent way to look at it. So she said it's really the whole process for her, that you take a second, take a step back, and realize why you're feeling crappy. And if it's not food related, crappy's not going to get better with eating food, right? Crappy's only going to get crappier if you use food to try to deal with that. So physically, she doesn't feel good when she uses food for that reason. That's excellent. Perfect. Good. We have any other ones? Go ahead. Sure.
I'm kind of searching on, one, I can think of things like in that transition when I'm finally back to work and to home and, you know, what I'm starting to do, and out of boredom and stuff and reaching for food. But what about like when I get up in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I don't want to wake up everybody, but I'm wide awake, I can't sleep. And so I'm seeing that jar of peanut butter from the shelf, like, here's the cinnamon, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to be quiet. I mean, you have suggestions?
Does anybody have any ideas for Rob?
That's an excellent idea. So he says, in the middle of the night, what happens when you wake up and you want to eat that peanut butter? So I always say, take a step back, find out what it is that's waking you up. Is it hunger? If you're really physically hunger, maybe you missed out something earlier in the day, then feeding that hunger may help with that. But if it's something else, if it's worry or a different emotion, what is that? So what would help with a different emotion? Anybody? When you wake up in the middle of the night, does anything ever work for anybody? No? Watch a TV show. So, okay, if that works for you, that's perfect. Actually, I find mindless TV very comforting for me, too. Sometimes when my brain's going too fast and there's just junk on TV, sometimes that's comforting to me. Not all the time, but sometimes it is, too. My husband hates the Jersey Housewives. I find that train wreck really comforting for me for some reason, too. So it's got to, but what feels good to you, right? And finding that out, too. Anybody else when you wake up in the middle of the night? Does anybody wake up in the middle of the night? All right. Are you able to figure out what it is that you're feeling when you wake up? Is it stress? What is it? I did.
No, I think it's stress. And you just wake up and like, yo, you're awake, like wide awake.
Yeah.
There you go. So trying to get to that transition, get yourself to be tired again.
To turn it back off and calm yourself down again. Go ahead.
Wide awake and wired for like an hour.
Right.